got his duds. Yeah, I think the when you talk about Mahomes already to go, I think that's a little prematurely. Just because, I mean, what's this, his second or third season as a starter? Yeah, he got a ring. Yeah, he got an MVP. Crazy season out the gates. But it's like, you got to, when you look at who eventually ends up as the GOAT, it's more so their career and not just their talent level. His talent level, yeah, is in the conversation. Aaron Rodgers, Montana, guys of that nature. But overall, I think that's definitely prematurely, man. But speaking on the GOAT, though, with Brady getting his 7th ring, I think he can entertain that conversation as far as like GOAT of all sports. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think of the Michael Jordans of the world, when you think of the LeBron James of the world, when you think of the Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, Michael Phelps. I think for football, it's a little tougher to make that case for him though, just because it's such a team sport, and he only played one side of the ball. When you look at Michael Jordan and NBA players, they both and I think it's more player driven. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's hard to go against somebody that got 6 MVP, 6 rings. You know what I'm saying?
For me, it's I don't know. I can't get out to Brady. I'm a Brady fan, but I can't give it to him being the GOAT just for the simple fact of him not playing defense. That's like for me, I can't give it to honestly a Tiger Woods or even I watched TNT. I think it was Tuesday night, and Shaq was like, Floyd Mayweather is his GOAT, you know what I'm saying? Because he never lost. But I'm like,
that's an easy pick. That's the one I could say like pick. Of course he undefeated, but his competition, who he fight against, matters. And I honestly, for me, I kind of distinguish the individual sports away from team sports. Because I think that's different. You know what I'm saying? I think because it's hard, because there's so many differences between the team sport and the individual sport where you can't really parallel the two when you're trying to compare them. And I want to say you can compare anything.
If you do compare the two, in my opinion, I believe that like a team, playing on a team is harder. Mm-hmm. Just a simple fact of like, you could be ready and go one day, but your team ain't not. So to me, I feel like you got to tap in a different whole mentality to bring your team up to become a great. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You just preparing for yourself. That's easy.
That's easy.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like to prepare it's some games that LeBron lost because his team. Mm-hmm. So he had to watch film, get his team together,
elevate
get them ready. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Versus I'm just getting ready. It's a little bit different.
And Kendrick Perkins made a good point too when he was talking about Tom Brady versus guys out of the NBA that's considered like Michael Jordan. Is that they got to go through 16 games. It's like a tournament every round. In football, you only got to play one game. I think some would probably try to argue that that's even harder because anybody can win.
You got one shot.
And you only got one shot. But if you're ready, you should win. Like, if you're the favorites, you should win. And I think it's much harder when you got 7 games and you got to come back. Like, let's take LeBron's situation where he down, 1-3. You know what I mean? You got to beat somebody 3 times in a row now. That's tough. You know what I'm saying? So I think Kendrick Perkins making that point probably hold a lot of weight when you're trying to debate the Tom Brady's versus the Michael Jordans. And like I said,
I think with Tom Brady doing what he did his first year, kind of transitioning over to a new team. I think that does say a lot about what he's capable of doing. Mm-hmm. The football fans are definitely going to say, "Oh man, he's the GOAT," because nobody else really does that. Few players that switch teams and even get there, besides like your Peyton Mannings and things like that.
Peyton Manning
that can consistently get there, but to do it as many seasons he have and dominate the sport as a top quarterback,
43.
That's a major accomplishment. Yeah. Major accomplishment. It's almost it might be almost equal equivalent of a Jordan or of a. I don't know. I can't compare it to Floyd. That's crazy. I don't even want to put Floyd in that category.
He won in 2017, 19, and then 2021 this year, right?
You talking about his Super Bowls?
Yeah.
So he won this year. He didn't win last year because there was some Mahomes. The year before, I believe he won versus. It was a low-scoring game. I forgot. Was it the Eagles?
I know he beat the Falcons for sure.
He came back on the Falcons. Yeah, but he won out of the last 4 years. I think he won 3 of them. He won like 3 or 4 of them out of the last 4 or 5 years. Ever since Max made that, the cliff, and when he hit 40, he didn't won like literally more than he's won in the early part of his career. which is crazy. Like, Brady, one of them dudes, you say something about him, he probably looking at everybody that's commentating on him that's saying something negative, like, I'm putting a mental note of that.
And he still got some gas in the tank to continue to solidify whatever he going for.
Right. Which is...
At this point, this is just for trophies. It's not even
That's what I'm about to say.
Bragging rights. This is just for... I don't have nothing else to do outside of football.
Yeah. When they said, they spoke on that too, where they said when he went down with that new knee injury back in, I think, 07 to 08, he was like, he pretty much ain't had nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, he one of them dudes where football is it for him. He don't really got, I think he just started like a firm, not a firm, but like a company outside of it called TB12. And I don't know what he gonna do with that, but he started that late in his career. Most guys now coming in, you know, they probably doing that once they get their first big contract. So I would probably say he probably only been glued to football pretty much since he got into the league. But yeah, man.
My question is, will Tom Brady be the iconic name that he is? Outside 5-10 years removed from the league, will we still be comparing quarterbacks to a Tom Brady? Non-football fans.
That's a good question. I think he's gonna be the standard.
Me too.
Just how people try to have Montana up there. Montana is like he went 4-0. All right, that's one thing. But when you got somebody that got 7 rings, and I think it even says something when you get there 10 times. You know what I'm saying? 4
Especially
times.
in the NFL.
Yeah, that ain't on a new team, a franchise that haven't been there for almost 20 years or so. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to do that and to have it the Super Bowl in your home crib, never been done. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro.
Crazy.
Like, that's the type of stuff that he like, you know what? I'm going to go there specifically because this has never been done, and I'm going to be the only one that can be associated with that.
Yep.
Like, that's the type of mentality Brady got, bro. Like, he one of them dudes, dog. But I think, for me, my GOAT of all sports is Michael Jordan for sure. I just think he transcends all of life. Like, outside of basketball, you know, you got to look at all the just the brand that he's beyond. Jordan brand is beyond. Like, you talking about golf, swimming, he behind universities. And then his career is one thing, but it's so much that he didn't already expanded, being away from the game so long. Everybody else the only person that's going like catch up quick to that is LeBron, because he started doing so much while being in the league. But like I said, Brady's just now starting to branch out and do stuff with TB12, and a lot of people ain't thinking like Bron is, but Jordan being one of the first. I mean, you saved the whole Nike. Yeah, like Nike was on the brink of falling apart with it before he went to Nike.
Yeah. I can't disagree with it, you know. I mean, he inspired our guy Kobe, you know what I mean? But just beyond that, like you said, beyond just basketball, he did so much, and his impact in life is just. I mean, to be honest, you look at some of the GOATs, like, you know, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, and people like that. At least I might not be like in the golfing world, but it just seems like, you know, that's where they kind of stay.
That's where it stay.
That's where it stay. For Mike, it's like, you know what I'm saying, like. Michael Phelps walk in with some Jordans on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Skip Bayless on Undisputed.
Rappers.
You have a whole sneaker ball where it's about what Jordans you're putting on or whatever.
That's the thing. The sneaker world, like the sneaker world alone, so much is built off of just Jordan. Like, that culture, bro, is so much impacted off just the Jordan shoe, bro. Like, yeah, people stand in line or they on StockX for a lot of other shoes, but no brand or sneaker has that type of recognition or regarded like that. And that's just the shoe. We ain't even talking about the 6 rings, the 6 MVPs, the highest PR ever.
For the game, how you saved the NBA. And
yeah, bro. So it's hard. That for me, like that's my GOAT. I think globally he still wins that. I seen a map earlier. They had all the states on there, and where everybody had their GOAT. Like you typically seen Brady, Jordan. You had LeBron up there. And then you had Serena in a few states, and then you had Montana and Rodgers. But overall, Jordan was kind of running that for sure.
It's crazy that you wouldn't see a guy like Mayweather step on that. But I think it's such an individual sport. And I think you don't want to let go of the great pastimes like the Ali's and the Mike Tysons and things.
Because I think a lot of people would take the Ali's over Mayweather.
Guys who are iconic and quotable. You know
I think Mayweather is in that whole like kind of. Where cats got, you know, LeBron. Like, some people say he the GOAT, you know what I'm saying, but it's not submitted nowhere. Yeah. I think Floyd Mayweather is like that. Like, you got some people like Shaq that he thought he the GOAT because he ain't never lost before. Yeah. But then you got a lot of people that's definitely taking Tyson, Ali, and different cats.
I just think it's certain records that will just never be broken. Like if you look at Jesse Owens, the fastest man on the planet at one particular time, and then, but if you look at his times compared to what these runners are nowadays, you like. They're not even on the same list. Right. So, you know, I don't know if we look back at 20 years from now, we look at Floyd and say, man, who's better than him? The guys that don't know who Ali is or wasn't taught about Mike Tyson or whatever, do we look back and say, who's Floyd Mayweather? Is he better than him? Why he got so many more, you know?
And I think boxing is so kind of exclusive. Like, I don't walk around and just have a lot of people I know I can talk about boxing with. Like you gotta really to know fighters and to have boxing. Yeah, you gotta really be into it. Like it's real in depth. Like you got all the classes that people fight, middle class, featherweight, and boxing. I think is kind of I wouldn't call it. I may call it an acquired taste because the natural consumer not just walking around paying $50 for a fight anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like that's another thing.
Not so much in today's time.
Nah, it was bigger back then for sure. Especially when you got cats like these Paul brothers and. You know what I mean? Nate Robinson, like all these celebrity matches that kind of like frown upon that sport. Mm-hmm. Like it kind of give it a bad rep if anybody can jump in just so you got 1 million YouTube subscribers or whatever and then just kind of participate. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't trying to see no Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather.
You know, all the other celebrity boxing matches that they've been going on.
Yeah, that's crazy, dog. But I think Jordan is mine. Who y'all go for sure?
I'm going with Bron. I'm a Bron fan, man.
Wow, okay. You getting kind of nasty with it. Hold on now. Hey. Come on now.
I'm a Bron fan. And it's the things that he do on the court.
Now we talking about go to all
sports.
You got a good case if you can make it, though.
I'm going with go to all sports. Just because the work ethic that he's put just into being an athlete. Mm-hmm. Just into being an athlete, staying healthy as long as he have. A lot of athletes, that's the hardest thing to do as an athlete is to stay healthy, play that many minutes, and then your game to progress while every other superstar, super athlete has declined, with the exception of Tom Brady that we see. Right. Where everybody else has declined, but you found a way to get better. You found a way to get more skill, to diversify your game as an athlete, to be able to win rings under multiple different franchises and be the star player while doing it under multiple different franchises.
MVP every ring,
arguably, because we got Bron has had help, but Bron has made it there plenty of times with not as much of a supporting cast as some of the other GOATs or greats, I should say.
So, I agree.
I don't know. I mean, I hear the argument, but it's like when I look at his career, was a lot of people that had that potential face in the NBA while he was playing. You know what I'm saying? Versus Jordan. When he was there, when he got his, it was like, okay, it's Jordan time. Even before he even wanted a ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's Jordan time. And once it was Jordan time, it was a wrap. To me, it's like, you had Steph Curry at one point where it was like, okay, is he the guy of the league? You know what I'm saying? If Giannis could have made it to the finals, could he have taken that away from Bron? You know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan, it was over. Once he was Jordan, it was like, that's all we want to see.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. I think that kind of plays a factor into there being less primetime TV hours. So there were less televised games from other individuals. Some people try to propose an argument that Jordan may have been somewhat of an industry plant to a certain degree. Like he was almost marketed to be that much better than everybody else. Not to say that his game wasn't,
right, but it
wasn't as much publicity that was on other guys. The basketball as a whole was still almost like a fairly new organized sport in some sense, as far as them changing around the rules and kind of developing the NBA into what it is today. And I think he peaked and transcended that era.
Do you think a GOAT, the GOAT of sports, can have as much dislike or hate as LeBron? Because when we talk about the GOATs of sports, like Serena is loved. Tiger Woods had that little scandal thing. I'm saying, like, he's globally loved. All these cats are like on a different level of love. They don't really have that much hate.
The crazy thing is, Bron doesn't really have a major scandal, and it's just
he don't. But I'm saying he have a lot of.
I think you would have
to hate behind him.
You would have to turn the mirror to the audience more so than why they hate him, because it's really silly why we would criticize James for why we do. But also, I think what a credit to that is because I don't think nobody's ever been as hyped as that dude coming out of the high school.
You almost wanted to see him fail.
Yeah, like it was so much. And then the type of guy he was, typically guys in the shoes that he wears, like the face of the league, they don't like. He's the first of his kind that's like that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like when we talking about somebody like this, a GOAT, it's got to be more than obviously what they do on the court or in the ring or whatever. I feel like a GOAT is accepted as the GOAT, and it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like when you say something like Michael Jackson. Right. You got some people that may disagree, but it's like you fine with somebody saying Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. I think LeBron is never at this point. He's not fine with being called the GOAT. You still have a lot of people that's gonna be like, "Well, he to go to sports. He's not even to go to the NBA. How we just jump in?"
That's definitely a fair comparison.
Nah, that's
to
a
make.
fair.
That's a real fair comparison to make.
I think LeBron off court.
I think
well.
unarguably, I think most people would say a Michael Jordan just because we still got people from that era that watch that era of basketball that hold on to that and may not necessarily care for the new style of play and the new rules and the new changes that they made in the league or just even amongst all sports. So I think that kind of plays a big factor into that. But Jordan will always be the name that kids gonna yell out. You know what I'm saying? When because it's a brand now. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than just him. I don't know if Bron will ever transfer to be anything bigger than an athlete. I don't think the kids of today will know Jordan as an athlete. They'll know Jordan as a shoe. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the.
I did know them both, but some definitely.
I'm saying, because it's harder to find some of that older footage unless you like really going to just digging it up. You know what I'm saying?
That Last Dance.
The game. Yeah. I mean that'll be there.
Last Dance put it on blast. But as far as like the new school though,
they know him as Jordan as shoe.
I probably would.
You know what I'm saying? Like
more so than the player.
I don't know if you'll know LeBron as LeBron the shoe. You know what I mean? That's a huge.
LeBron ain't even got that type of LeBron ain't got that type of goal.
Like I got Jordan for sure, but maybe like to argue LeBron, maybe we have to see like when he retired to see how
to see what that is. Yeah,
I think his off court is gonna be what's gonna put his best foot forward.
He's a living playing legend. You know what I'm saying? Like some guys don't reach that legendary status. You don't really appreciate them till they done with the game. You know,
he definitely is a living playing legend.
And we don't even know what LeBron. We don't even know when he's done. We don't even know if has he peaked, has he descended. You know what I mean? Because he's a different player than what he was 18 years ago.
He is, man. Now, it's gonna be exciting to see how he finishes though. But with the new cats coming in, a lot of talk been around like.